What if you fall over and skin your knees a little bit? I say skin your knees, get up and keep going because that is how we learn. That is how we learn what we don't want to be doing. That is how we learn what we do love to do. That is how we learn and build resilience. So if you knew your goals were guaranteed, what action would you be taking? Because until you decide that, your goals aren't just going to land in your lap. And this gets to be so, so powerful. I cannot believe we are at the end of the year. This year has been huge for me in terms of grounding into who I am. And I really managed to set up a ton of foundations and a whole new level of safety in my business and just knowing myself on a whole new level, which has been so, so cool. And I've loved sharing the journey with you on my past episodes. And so right now I am actually on holidays, and last week I wrapped up my last program for the year. So I've booked off 6 weeks of pure holidays. And what I hear a lot of people saying is, I've just built a business that I don't need a holiday from. And that is actually so true for me too. But why can't I have a holiday as well? Like, I always remember when I first got a job and I was like, damn it, what is this 4 weeks that you get like here and there? And can't I just be back at school where we used to get a guaranteed 6 weeks at the end of the year to enjoy Christmas and summer? And it was just like the best time. And then here I am. I've built a business where I am having 6 weeks off. I kicked off the holidays with a road trip with my partner Chris, and we went down the coast of Western Australia to Albany and Esperance, the most beautiful beaches in the world, by the way. And that is just really, really cool. So I'm just holding a whole new level of gratitude for what my business allows me to do, because I do see a lot of people hustle their ass off all year, or especially at the end of the year, so that then they can have a holiday. And the alternative to that is you've built a freedom business where every day feels like pretty amazing, but you don't feel like you could fully take that break and you're still kind of stuck to the computer. And what I call that is a workaday, because it's like you're on holidays, but you've still got your laptop. So is it really a holiday? I think workaday sums it up so, so well. And so I see people doing both of these. But what I feel like is that every day is like a workaday for me. And then I get to have proper holidays at the end of the year. Well, actually, I have holidays all the damn time, but this year I'm taking 6 weeks. And that is really, really awesome, because last year I took 4 weeks off, and that was the first time in so long that I took any time off over Christmas. I was either workadaying or like hustling my ass off to take a little bit of time off, or pretending that I was going to take a holiday and then like actually just still working. So we've all been there, but this is really, really exciting. So Chris and I had booked a road trip at the start of December for a week, and that really kicked off and kicked me into gear. So this is really, really fun. And what I'm excited most about is when I allow myself so much space, the inspiration just flows. And I honestly possibly will still show up and create content and share. And that's more so an extension of just who I am. And if I think it, then I just need to say it. And I'm not going to fully turn my brain off, but I'm not setting aside any time to specifically do any programs or work or anything like that. And there are no expectations on this time. So I am so excited to share with you like what I end up creating, what comes out of that 6 weeks, other than a ton of beach time, a ton of adventures. And this year actually as well, this is Chris and I's first year in our like dream home. And so we're so excited to have everyone here for Christmas. It'll be our first Christmas that we've ever hosted. So it's going to be just a really, really special time of year. And the best part is like just celebrating the year that was, which is going to be amazing. So what I want to chat to you in this episode about is the different seasons that we go through in business. I'm going to be dropping my vision for next year. Like, I am going to share all of it with you because why the hell not? And I always get so inspired when I hear other people's visions. And while I can tell you to dream big and do this and that, sometimes it's cool to just see what other people are putting out there, what other people are putting into the universe to create. And so I'm going to share with you all of that. But I think the most important part that I've got to share with you on this episode is how to reconnect with the truest version of you. Because when we can really reconnect back to ourselves, back to our mission on what we are here to do, everything else becomes so much easier. So the way that I look at my past year was a huge introspective period. I went through reconstructing my whole concept of self, basically doing tons and tons of inner work, stepping into my next level self and really playing with that, owning my leadership and authority at a whole new level. And that included creating a whole bunch new programs and courses. And I've honestly had so much fun just going with where my energy felt like it needed to go. And while I was still growing my business, while I was still selling and marketing and creating content and value, to me, the whole year had felt like more of a cocoon phase and really putting everything down. And while I feel like I have already stepped into my next level self, I just feel like this year was a great permission piece for me to really own that. And I almost feel like the past 2 years or almost 3 years for everybody as a collective has almost felt like that. It's like, what do I want to do with my life? Who even am I? And where the hell am I going? And now as we're stepping into 2023, it almost feels like, even for me specifically, I feel like this is the butterfly phase where I've done the groundwork, I've created the programs, I've done the behind the scenes mindset and doing all of that. And while that is going to be a lifelong process and journey, next year I'm really stepping into big vision and being more visible than ever. And so I feel like as a collective, and I've spoken to many of my clients, next year feels like the rebirth. Next year feels like, okay, I've calibrated and let's freaking go. So I think that's really cool because it is an indication, I guess, of just what's happening in the world. We've got this newfound freedom. It's almost like back to 2019 vibes. So it's a whole new level of freedom that I know has been coming through, but it's like 2023, let's freaking go. So I don't know if you've been feeling that as well, but that's kind of been my experience. But what I will say to that is, in business, there are going to be cycles or stages of growth where you might invest more heavily into growth, audience creation, or audience building, ads, building up all of the systems, processes, growth, and just scalability. Then there are going to be times where you work on optimizing efficiencies. You look inwards to the business. How can we optimize, make this better? Then there are going to be times where you just need to work on you. And it's like, let me go inwards for a moment whilst all the other stuff is happening. And so what I see most people do is they feel guilty when they're not always constantly in the growth phase. And this is the biggest challenge that I see for business owners is you see other people having massive growth and you feel like you need to have that level of growth all the time. What I want to normalize is that business goes more like this. It's like a up and down roller coaster. Over time, possibly it's going on an upward trajectory, right? But not always. You might be happy with it just going up and down kind of where you're at. But what I would say is most business owners are going to be aiming for that overall upward slope. But there are going to be times where it's up. There are going to be times where it's down. There are going to be times where you're just so on a roll, you've got so much momentum and the things are all clicking together. But in order to have those big spikes of growth, we do need to have the times of creation. We need to have the times of reflection. We need to have the times of, let me just work in the business and then we get to grow from there. So even though my business has grown this past year, like leaps and bounds in wild ways, my main focus has been, what do I need? What do I feel called to be focusing on right now? And so I wanted to give this as a permission piece, because you may feel like 2023, everyone is going growth, everyone is going big. Jess said, let's go big in 2023. But you might feel called to sit in your cocoon phase. And that's not necessarily saying you're just going to sit on the couch and do nothing, because I was doing a shitload of stuff. If you saw what I was doing this year, if you've listened to any of the episodes, you know I was doing shit, right? I wasn't just sitting on the couch. But we get to own those cocoon phases. We get to own the times where maybe we're optimizing, where maybe then we are investing heavily, and maybe there's less profits at certain times as well, because we know that to get to that next level, maybe we feel called to invest heavily into certain areas of our business to get us to that next level. So there are going to be huge different cycles. So depending on where you're at right now will probably determine where you want to go for next year as well. I wanted to share a bit around my vision for next year. And my vision is being more visible than ever and taking up more space as a leader. Because I've done the inner work, I've been stepping into that, and I will continue to step into that even more and owning those parts of me and just being more comfortable with taking up more space. But what I actually did to sort of round out this year was I reflected a little bit on what makes me me. What is my superpower? What is the common theme that I am here to do? What is the common theme and the impact that I want to make? And so the biggest part for me to even know what the hell my vision was going to be for the next year was reconnecting with my mission. And what I will add to this is a lot of people go out looking for, what is my purpose? But sometimes it's just an inner knowing. And sometimes it's just your purpose for right now. So it doesn't have to be this whole dig deep sort of thing and I can't take action until I find my purpose, but just reconnect with what you feel like you are here to do. And while last year I felt like I was there to just sort myself out, to work on myself, to expand, because I know that when I work on myself, for myself first, then I can help and guide others in the most deep and potent way. And that is like very much a projector thing as well. And I really, really love human design to help with this. And I actually love doing readings for my one-on-one clients and people in my world as well, because then I can help guide them on, okay, this is a huge permission piece for you to step into. But for me, I knew that me first. Then next year, I am so ready to go out and share it with everybody else. Share my missions, share my message, share how others can unlock their own level of fantasy land. And so actually through realizing that, I decided I was going to run my fantasy land masterclass, which I ran last week as well. And you can always still jump into that. The link will be in the show notes for that. But my superpower is playing in Fantasyland, is knowing how to unlock wild opportunities, wild levels of success. And I have so much experience in so many different business models, in so many different experiences, in so many different modalities as well. I've studied NLP, human design, rewiring the subconscious mind, business. I've got a whole damn degree in business as well. And through working through different business models like e-commerce, agency business model, working through a travel agency, working with influencers, working in coaching business, working in a bricks and mortar, I am so ready to bring all of that to the people who want to play in Fantasyland. And I've decided that is my mission. I don't have to niche myself into, hey, I'm going to teach you how to do specifically Facebook ads. I know about Facebook ads. And if one of my clients asked me about it, I would tell them my opinion, but it's not what I specifically want to do. What I want to do and what I want to be known for is helping people unlock endless possibilities, is helping people see also the tangible way to create that and working through the mindset. So what I realized about myself this year was that that wasn't my mission. And when I looked at all of my proof in the past on where I'd created wild success, where I felt most at home, where I felt like I am here to make a bloody impact, was when I was playing in that energy. And so I am coming back to holy shit, anything is possible, wild levels of just like pure delusion and just being so convicted in anything is possible and sharing that with you on the how, but also how to unlock that within yourself. And I haven't been doing that this year in the way that I probably would have liked to. But that is also okay because that's where I was at. That was the cycle that I was in. But this is why my vision for next year is visibility, impact to the max. And now that gets to be possible because I have created safety in my income streams. I have created a business foundation that allows me to go big now. I have created boundaries and rewired my mind to allow freedom to come first. Because if I had leaped straight into, let me go big, let me be the most visible, I would have burnt the hell out. And so sometimes we need those periods to build the foundations within ourselves and within our business so that we can live our purpose in the biggest way. So what that's going to look like for me is I've already booked a shoot. I've got a shoot next week, which I am so excited about, to just really allow me to tap into that energy. Do I need a shoot to create more impact? No. Like, no one's going to care that I've got a new shoot. But for me, it's a frequency that I want to play in. So I've got a shoot planned. I am stepping up next year my content big time. Like, I am hiring people on my content team to help me repurpose, to help me create, plan, all of the fun stuff. And this podcast, just you wait. And I am also bringing the podcast to YouTube. So it is already on YouTube and I'd started this already. So my team have been repurposing all of my past podcasts onto YouTube just so they're there, because YouTube is actually set to be the biggest podcasting and just the biggest channel in the world next year. They are making so many changes and the growth of YouTube right now is going off. So now is the time. I'm pretty late to getting into YouTube, but if you have been thinking about it, it's probably a good time as well. So I'm going to be really, really intentional about creating quality over quantity, because I can put something out on YouTube. I can put a bomb-ass podcast out and it lasts forever. It is there for people to discover for years and years to come versus Instagram stories that expire after 24 hours. Now, I'll still be putting energy into like Instagram stories, TikTok, all of that fun stuff, but I'm focused on longevity and quality and the deepest impact, not mass impact, but deep impact. So that's what it's going to look like for me. And I'm going to be stepping up the quality of the content as well. So I'm investing in gear, in tech, in cameras, in all of these things to really bring the best quality that I can to channels like YouTube, to my podcast. And then I get to repurpose all of that for my other channels as well. And while I will say you don't have to invest in a photo shoot, you don't have to invest in gear, you can just go. This is just where I'm at in my business. And I am so ready to invest and really take it seriously from a really strategic standpoint, because next year I'm going to be doing a ton more travel as well, which means I need to be a lot more smart with my time. So this is going to help me build out even more freedom, which is leading to my purpose of like helping people build a business for life as well. And the impact gets to be there as well. Plus, I am currently writing a book, which is so damn exciting. And for me, that has been a long time coming. A long time coming. I would say a lifetime in the making, but I have been playing with this idea for years. And it is finally happening, like it is already in motion, which is so exciting for me to say. And that is part of my vision as well. If I'm going to make a deep and big impact, then I want to get my message out there in the biggest, boldest way. So next year I'm going big. I'm going big with audience, with impact and being visible in so many different ways. Now, I wouldn't probably recommend going TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, podcast, all from scratch, right? I've built up to this point, and while it is also so possible to do that, just be aware of your energy. Be aware of, are you burning yourself too thin? And maybe you might even want to choose a few to focus on. But for me, the way that I'm mapping it out, I'm going to create deep, long-form content that has so much juice that can be squeezed out into all the other channels. So that's working way, way smarter, not harder. So in saying all of this, how do you reconnect with your purpose? Now you can look at what makes you you, what makes you feel most alive, and I would highly recommend journaling on it. But the biggest part for this is going to be tapping into your intuition, tapping into your inner knowing. And something that you might want to try is just sitting down and settling into your body, taking some deep breaths and allowing your body to fully relax as if you're going into a hypnosis or a meditation. Because here's the thing, our intuition is not our mind. Our mind, when it comes to making decisions, when it comes to knowing what's right for us, it tries to take the most logical path. But the most logical is not always the right path. So we need to really tap into our deep inner knowing, even if it makes absolutely no sense. Because we always know. We always know. You have all of the answers within you already. And so what I actually did was I created so much space. And so creating space is going to be really, really key. This is not just going to be an activity that you put on your list, find my purpose, did it, sat down for a few minutes. So what I would say is just really settle into your body, take those deep breaths and relax and ask yourself the question, what am I feeling called to do? What do I feel like I need to lean into right now? And take that and run with it, because that is where the power honestly is, when we can really, really lean back into that. So what I want to leave you with is setting an intention for the next year around what frequency are you choosing to operate at? The key word is choose, right? We always have a choice in everything. So I see that there is two kind of frequencies. One being, I don't know if this will work out. You play it a bit smaller than you would like to, just to be safe. Or my next level goals are so inevitable. They're just like, obviously, they're going to happen. And you make moves accordingly, because if you knew that they were guaranteed, then you're going to move differently, right? So the two frequencies are, I don't know if it'll work out, or I'm so damn anchored into this, my goals are just inevitable. Because these two frequencies are worlds apart. And the frequency that you choose is always the results that you get. And so you get to choose right in this moment, regardless of what you feel like your intuition is calling you to do. You get to choose right now, what frequency are you operating at? Because where are you still playing small in case it doesn't work out? Where are you afraid to take the leap? Because what if you fall over and skin your knees a little bit? I say skin your knees, get up and keep going, because that is how we learn. That is how we learn what we don't want to be doing. That is how we learn what we do love to do. That is how we learn and build resilience. So if you knew your goals were guaranteed, what action would you be taking? Because until you decide that, your goals aren't just going to land in your lap. And this gets to be so powerful. So I'm going to leave you there. This has been one hell of a wild year, and I just want to send so much gratitude your way. Like, I love the support, and I love that you always get so much out of these episodes. It means the world. So if you have enjoyed it, and if you feel called to help me with my mission for next year on getting this out there to more people, please send the link to a friend or someone who you know would benefit from this, or share it on your social media. And I'm always up for a good tag. So tag me at Jess.Williamson8, and I would just love to share that right back. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for everything. Thanks for hanging out. And I hope this has helped you in just really realigning to where you're going for next year. I speak to you soon.